Good morning. Hi. Hi, mga ka-circle. Good morning. We will start in a few minutes, but before that, please register now through the link rec.org.ph slash element 4 reg feb 28 or scan the QR code on your screen. This will be prerequisite for the e-certificates. We are now live via Facebook, facebook.com facebook.com/rec.org.ph/live and to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Radio Engineering Circle. And if you have any questions, you can type it in the comment section of this live webcast, as we will have an open discussion at the end of our speaker's talk. Again, just to remind everyone, reminder, the link is open until 11 a.m. only, so don't forget to register.
Tumayo po tayong lahat, ilagay ang kanang kamay sa ating dibdib at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, tuyang ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisiil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may diragang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim, lupa ng araw ng luwalhati pagsinta mo ay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Good day to everyone. We would like to welcome you all to the part 3 of our Propagate and Radiate free amateur radio orientation webinar with the topic of Element 4 Amateur Radio Practice. It is one of our countless webinars that bring you knowledge beyond horizon and to bring you enrichment to your wisdom. This webinar is brought to you by Radio Engineering Circle. And yeah, I am Winfrey Padlan for Hotel 1 Whiskey Bravo Papa, batch 4 member and the current Vice President for Sports and Leisure of Radio Engineering Circle, PUP Manila Section, Delta Zulu 1, Papa Uniform Papa. Before we start this webinar, let me remind everyone to register through the link or through the QR code on your screen. You need to complete the registration and mock exam of the three element episodes. We highly encourage everyone to listen attentively to the speakers because later after the presentation, we are going to have a mock exam which will be the prerequisite for your certificates. In order to get your certificates, you should be able to pass MAC exams of Element 2, 3, and 4. Also, we would like to invite you to join our circle, Radio Engineering Circle Incorporated. Just log on to rec.org.ph/join to apply. We are a proud member of Philippine Amateur Radio Association and Federation of Rapid Emergency Telecommunication Team of the Philippines. So, I don't want to take much of your time. To start off, our opening remarks will come from a licensed professional electronics engineer. He is also the president of Federation of Rapid Emergency Telecoms Team of the Philippines, or RET-PH, and the vice chairman of Radio Engineering Circle Incorporated. Please welcome Engineer Ornan S. Vicente, PCE, SCN Engineer. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Winfrey. Thank you for that introduction.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning, everyone. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, po.
Welcome
Loud
to
and
the third and last for this month's webinar on Element 4. This webinar is brought to you by Radio Engineering Circle Inc., a member of PARA and one of the proud founding members of Federation of Rapid Emergency Telecommunications Team of the Philippines Inc. The Radio Engineering Circle Inc. is composed of students and professionals, amateur radio operators, engineers, and technicians. It was founded last September 17, 2016, dedicated to amateur radio, propagate and radiate. The organization envisages students and professionals driven by the same interests in the provision of excellence and service that would contribute to the advancement of technology in the field of radio engineering. Our resource person is no other than our very own REC president, who will be formally introduced later. On behalf of our chairman, president, and REC Inc. Board of Trustees, we would like to welcome you all and thank you for supporting the programs that our organization is doing. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the webinar. Good morning again, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vice President Ornan, for the very encouraging welcome remarks for everyone. Again, let me remind you to all to register now through the link or the QR code on your screen. You need to complete the registration and max exam of the three element episodes. We highly encourage everyone to listen attentively to the speakers because later, after the presentation, we are going to have a MAC exam which will be prerequisite for your certificates. In order to get the certificates, of course, you should pass the MAC exams of element 2, 3, and 4. Our passing rate is approximately 70% of the total score or at least 18 correct answers out of 25 questions. Can only take the elementary MAC exams within the day. Please finish the webinar so you can view the MAC exam link. So I hope everyone's ready because our resource speaker is about to start. Are you guys ready? So now, here is our resource speaker for today. He is a current instructor at Polytechnic University of the Philippines, a senior technology strategy engineer at Globe Telecom Incorporated, a licensed electronics engineer, electronics technician, and also first class radio telephone operator and a class A amateur radio operator. Let's all welcome the president of Radio Engineering Circle Incorporated, Engineer Patrick Jiorgen Hulipas for Facet 1 Papa Hotel. Good morning po.
Good morning sa lahat. Good morning, Winfrey, and good morning sa mga nanonood ngayon. No? So, I'm Patrick Georgian Hulipas. I will be discussing the element for amateur radio practice. So, sige, let's start na. I'll share my screen. Okay. Wait lang po ha. Sorry. Teka. Okay, nakikita na ba yung screen ko? Okay, sorry, Wait lang. Medyo mahaba tong. Yan. Uh, Subukan nating i-full screen. Okay, sorry. Baliktad. Wait lang ah. Yeah. Okay. Nakikita na ba yung screen ko? Sorry, hindi ko. Teka. Yan. Okay? So, ready na ba? Paki-share ng screen ko. Yan. So, morning sa lahat. I am Patrick Jiorgen Hulipas, 4F1PH, and didiscuss ko ngayon yung element 4 natin, which is the amateur radio practice. Basically, yung mga past lessons natin is about the element 2, the radio rules and regulations. Element 3 is the fundamental of electronics and electricity. Then dito tayo sa element 4, the amateur radio practice. Actually, marami akong mga kakilala na since college na nag-exam ng element 4 na medyo nahihirapan no for this element 4. So that's why ang discussion natin is mag-focus tayo doon sa uh, mga question and answers na ating na compile no since na nagkaroon tayo ng exam, yung mga nabutan kong exam, and then yung mga members natin na nakapag-exam sa NTC. So tinignan namin yung mga examination na maaring lumabas or questions na maaring lumabas sa ating NTC examination. So this is the element 4, no? Isa to sa mga kailangan nyo ipasa para makakuha kayo ng class C. Yun nga, pag class D, no, pag hindi nyo naipasa ito, at naipasa nyo naman yung element 2, tayo is makakatanggap naman ng class D license or radio operator certificate. Okay, so let's start. Ay, sorry, question agad. Teka, yan. So, ang ating discussion points will be a Q&A, no? It is compilation of the questionnaires na nakuha namin sa internet and related dun sa element 4 because yung element 4 kasi sobrang lawak niya dahil nandito nga yung amateur radio practice, yung mga practical na paggamit ng mga devices. So, tignan natin, no? Yung Q&A, basically yung Q&A na to will be, syempre, part nung magiging mock exam nyo later. So sige, start na tayo. Number 1, what reading on an SWR meter indicates perfect impedance between match and antenna and the feed line. So alamin natin yung SWR meter, no. So yung or SWR, basically it's as the meaning niyan is standing wave ratio. Okay? So yung standing wave ratio nga, ito yung ratio, no? 'Di ba pag nag-transmit tayo ng signal from the radio, so yung voltage, no, or yung radio frequency na matatransmit natin from the transmitter is magta-transmit yun ng radio frequency voltages papuntang antenna. Okay? Papuntang feed line, yung coaxial cable natin until antenna. Ngayon, kapag meron tayong tinatawag na forward wave, yun yung papuntang sa antenna. Pero meron tayong tinatawag na reflected wave kung hindi match, okay, ang impedance ng ating radio at nung ating feed line or yung coaxial cables natin or an antenna. Pag hindi match yung feed line and antenna, ang mangyayari, babalik yung ating yung voltages, no, hindi lahat ng power is ma-consume ng antenna or magra-radiate. So babalik siya sa transmitter which is nagko-cause siya na nasisira yung ating equipment. So ideally dapat kung lahat ng ang ating mga ibinuga, no, from our transmitter is dapat lumabas 'yon. So dapat ang perfect impedance natin is the 1:1. Okay? Pero sa industry, no, 1:5 is acceptable pa rin. 1:1.5. Okay? So I hope ganito yung magiging ano natin, discussion natin for today. Okay? Kung may mga tanong kayo, comment lang sa ating Facebook and YouTube. Then number 2, which of the following precautions should be taken when measuring resistance with an ohmmeter? So tandaan nyo, gusto natin makita yung resistance. So dapat hindi ito naka-powered or hindi ito naka-connect dapat sa ating supply voltage or battery source or power supply. Okay? So yun ang ating tatandaan. Pero syempre pag voltage na ang ating sinusukat, syempre kailangan to naka-connect sa supply voltage. Okay? So number 3 na tayo. Ay, wait. Yan. So number 3, what is the minimum safe distance from a power line when installing an antenna? So kahit saan makita, kahit yung kung bibili kayo ng mga antenna sa mga etiketa nun or mga specs nun, ang ideal or minimum safe distance ng antenna sa power line o yung mga high voltage line natin, or yung mga power co-op natin, dapat ang layo nyon is 1/2 wavelength at the operating frequency. Okay? So yun yung ating minimum safe distance from power line. Pero ang reason behind that is syempre kapag yung ating wavelength yung ating antenna is malapit sa power line, maaaring tumawid yung signal doon, and yun nga, maaaring tayo is masira yung ating equipment o makadisgrasya. Okay? So yan ang ating minimum safe distance, 1/2 wavelength. So kung 2 meter frequency yung gagamitin natin, no, VHF. So ang gagawin natin is 1 meter, at least 1 meter, no. Minimum safe distance. Okay? Pero syempre, titignan din natin yung taas ng ating tore. Okay? Sa taas naman ng tore natin, dapat pag natumba yun, dapat hindi siya masasandal yung sa power line. No? So iba yung, ito is minimum safe distance para hindi magkaroon ng pagtawid ng signal from the antenna to power line. Pero iba pa yung structure, no? Okay? Syempre, pag sa structure naman, dapat kung gaano kataas yung tore mo, ganun lampas doon dapat yung layo ng anting antenna. Okay? So number 4, what is an instance in which the use of an instrument with analog readout may be prepared over an instrument with a numerical digital readout? Okay? So ano daw yung instance na prepared natin na gamitin ang analog, no, na readout, maybe for the voltages or ammeter or sa oscilloscope, no. So ang sagot diyan is tune circuit, kasi sa tune circuit makikita natin doon kung sakto ba, no, kasi may graphical representation siya doon, no? Kasi analog readout 'yon. Unlike sa digital, more on numerical siya, which is medyo hindi natin makikita, no, yung talagang saktong patono ng circuit na yun kapag numerical digital readout. Okay, number 5 tayo ngayon. So, what type of filter? By the way, ito yung mga tanong dito is naka-base dun sa ating syllabus na nasa Memorandum Circular sa 1987. So, may mga tanong dito na kinuha natin sa Industry Canada. The Industry Canada yung nagpapakuha ng nagbibigyan amateur license sa Canada. Then may mga tanong din from ARL. Okay. And syempre yung mga na alala ng mga members namin noong nag-take sila ng NTC, Amateur Radio LLC. So number 5, what type of filter should be connected to TV receiver as the first step in trying to prevent RF overload from nearby 2-meter transmitter? Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung TV daw natin, maaari kasing maka-apekto yung mga yung 2-meter transmitter o yung VHF amateur radio transmitter natin doon sa mga TV. Okay? Lalo na kung mataas yung power output. So, nangyayari, nasisira. Evident to for the analog TV, no? So, ang gawin natin, lalagyan natin ng band reject filter. Ibig sabihin, kung pag yung band hello? Sorry. Yun. Yung band reject filter ay isang paraan yun, no, para hindi pasukin nung RF overload na VHF transmitter natin. Okay? So, band reject filter ang tawag doon. So, kung band pass filter, no, yung kabaliktaran niyan, band pass filter, ina-allow naman natin na yung yung 2-meter transmitter natin is pumasok sa TV natin. Okay? So, band band reject kasi, kung gagamit tayo ng low pass filter, maaring makuha lang natin is yung mga channel 2 to 6 naman. Low pass mas mababa siya sa 144 to 146 megahertz. So ang makukuha lang ng TV mo is channel 2 to channel 6. Pag high pass filter naman, so ang inaalaw mo naman yung matataas na frequency. So ang hindi mo naman mapapanood yung channel 2 to channel 6. Ang mapapanood mo yung channel 7 until 51. Pag band pass filter naman, yun yung kabaligtaran ng band reject filter na inaalaw mo naman yung 2 meter. So band reject filter gagamitin natin. So number 6, what is the source of a high pitch whine? Okay? That varies between engine speed in a mobile transceiver receive audio. Okay? So na-experience natin to no kapag meron tayong mga mobile radio na nakakonect sa ating sasakyan. So basically ito yung ating alternator no. Yung alternator natin, ito yung create no from nagke-create siya ng electricity from mechanical no, energy. So maaaring pumasok yung engine noise na yon sa radyo at marinig natin. So number 7, which of the following controls could be used if the voice pitch of a single sideband signal seems too high or too low? So dun sa mga may radyo na, no, makikita nyo to sa inyong mga options. No? So ito yung ating the receiver RIT clarifier. No? Okay? So yung RIT clarifier, ito yung tinatawag na receive incremental tuning. Okay? Ginagawa natin, pag high pitch yung boses, no, or parang chipmunks, no, ginagawa natin, hindi natin pinapalitan yung operating frequency. Pero, para ma-adjust natin yung boses, yung receive incremental tuning natin is tinitignan natin kung ano ba yung tamang frequency na ma-receive mo yung boses niya. So, mga step ka lang na mga something, mga 10 to 15 kilohertz. So, pag nakita natin na doon pala yung tamang boses niya, lalo na kung kilala natin yung tao na yun, no? Alam natin yung boses niya na hindi ganun. So, pwede natin hanapin yun. Kasi sa single sideband, no, pag nag-tune tayo dyan, maaring iba yung boses natin, unlike sa FM. Kasi pag FM naman, pag nag-offset ka ng yung frequency mo, offset, hindi mo siya ma-receive. Okay, or mahina na yung signal natin. So RIT clarifier yung kailangan natin. Okay, receive incremental tuning. Okay? So considering RF safety, number 8 na tayo. So what precaution should you take whenever you make adjustment to the feed line or a directional antenna system? So ano ba yung mga precaution na kailangan natin pag mag-a-adjust tayo ng feed line? So yung feed line yun yung ating mga coaxial cable, yung gagamitin nating kable para ma-connect yung radyo at antenna. So number 1, be sure no one can activate the transmitter, disconnect the antenna positioning mechanism. So yung B, hindi pwede yan kasi yung antenna positioning mechanism is yun lang yung parang rotator, no? Yun yung rotator na kahit hindi naman gumagana yan kung nakabuhay yung ating transmitter, maaaring magkaroon pa rin ng shock, no? Or risk na pag-aayos niya, no? Pag mag-a-adjust ka. Point the antenna away from the sun. So, malabong-malabo yan. No? Wala namang kinalaman yon sa risk, no? Pag nag-adjust tayo ng feed line. Then, be sure the antenna structure are properly grounded. So, hindi rin pwede yan. Kasi, kahit naka-grounded yan, kung ito ay gumagana yung transmitter natin, malabong hindi tayo magkaroon ng risk dyan. So, dapat ang sagot dyan is letter A. Be sure no one can activate the transmitter. Uy, sorry guys. Number 9 na tayo. Okay. Ito naman, yan, sorry. Ito naman, tanong naman, no, if you are the net control station of a daily HF net, what should you do if the frequency uh, on which you normally meet, no, is in use just before the net begins? Okay. So, net control ka daw, no? Net control station ka, daily yung HF net mo. Okay? So, ano gagawin mo kung ginagamit pa siya, no? Kunwari may 8 to 9 yung net mo, but may gumagamit doon sa frequency na yon ng mga alas 7:59 or alas 8 na. So, ang gagawin mo, conduct the net on a clear frequency 3 to 5 kilohertz away from the regular net frequency. Okay? So, basically, yung letter A, hindi pwede yun, no? Kasi magkakaroon kayo ng interference. Malinaw dun sa ating radio rules and regulation na ang ating frequency sa amateur is shared and non-interference basis. So, kung may gumagamit niyan, hindi mo yan pwedeng uh, tapakan na lang ng basta-basta. Maliban na lang kung makikipag-usap ka na pwede mo namang maging courteous, no? Sabihin mo na pwede bang i-stop muna tayo para makapag-net call tayo. Ano naman yun eh. Sa amateur naman dapat, no? Sa amateur's code is considerate dapat. So increase power output, no? Ito yung medyo provocative, no? So increase mo yung power output mo para para matabunan yung ibang radio station. So, mali naman yun. So, cancel the net for the day. Siyempre, hindi natin option yun, no? Option lang natin yan kung talagang wala naman na tayong bakanting frequency. Pero, in this case naman, imposibleng walang bakante. So, ang papayang natin, pag HF, 3 to 5 kilohertz away. Pero pag FM naman or 2 meter, maaaring mag-transmit tayo na malayo kasi kunwari 3 to 5 kilohertz away, lang yan, no? Sa 2 meter o sa HF masyadong malapit yan. Okay, malaki yung bandwidth ng ating FM. Nasa 12.5, no? So or 25 kilohertz pa nga eh. So what is the purpose of box sensitivity control? Okay. Sa mga gumagamit nito, yung box, no, yung voice operated switch natin, meron tong option sa mga radyo. Ibig sabihin, kung gagamit ka ng box, no, ang nangyayari, kapag magsasalita ka, okay, pag magsasalita ka, magta-transmit yung magsasalita yung pag nagsalita ka, magta-transmit automatically yung radyo. So nakadepende 'yun sa intensity ng boses natin. Ngayon, kung ang intensity ng boses natin is mababa, nakadip or ganun talaga yung boses natin, maaari nating i-adjust yung sensitivity control. Okay? So, para kahit na mababa yung boses mo, magta-transmit pa rin siya. Okay? So, ang sagot dyan is to set the audio level at which the transmitter activates. Ibig sabihin, kung mababa yung boses mo, pero gusto mo na mai-transmit yun, bababaan mo tataasan mo yung sensitivity, syempre. Okay? So, yung sensitivity niya, pag 0, basically, konting alingas-gas lang, transmit na yun. Pero pag doon sa settings ng radio natin, mataas, mga 9. Okay? So, hindi naman magta-transmit yung radio natin. Kailangan malakas talaga na boses. So, number 11. What is the best instrument to use to check the signal quality? Okay? Ang signal quality of a CW or single sideband phone transmitter. Okay? So, number one, yung sagot daw dito is monitoring oscilloscope. Okay? So, ginagamit yan para ma-check natin kung solid ba yung CW. Yung CW yung continuous wave, no? Or kilala rin sa tawag na Morse code. Okay? So, makikita mo talaga yung intensity ng Morse code, no? And ang tiyatanong kasi dito is quality. Okay? Quality meaning, maganda yung signal mo, maganda yung maganda nating madidinig yung tones ng ating Morse code. And B, field strength meter, ano lang to, no? Yung field strength meter is ginagamit for checking ng electric field strength. Maaring mataas yung makukuha o mariread ng ating field strength meter, pero wala namang quality kasi voltage yung kanyang kinukuha. Yung side tone monitor naman, basically, yung chine-check niya yung mga tone na nasa ibang frequency. Then, letter D, signal tracer, audio amplifier, hindi naman yun. Pan-check. Ano? Pan-check siya ng signal, no? And audio amplifier, quality hindi. So, monitoring oscilloscope yan. Kasi yung monitoring oscilloscope, meron siyang graphical representation tulad nung nasa ating image na sample. Okay, so which of the following statement about the station grounding is true? So kasama yan sa amateur radio practice, no? Yung mga equipment natin dapat is naka-ground, no? So ano daw ba yung mga true daw dito? So nandito, ang sagot dito is RF hotspot can occur in a station located above the ground floor if the equipment is grounded by a long ground wire. So RF hotspot, no? Above the ground floor. Okay, so yung RF hotspot, yun yung mga parang connection, no, nung ating mga radyo. Okay? So, hindi siya pwedeng yung chassis of each piece of station equipment should be tied together with a high impedance conductor. Hindi pwede yun. Letter B, if the chassis of all station equipment is connected with a good conductor, there is no need to tie them on ground. So, kailangan pa rin naka-ground siya. Then number 4, ground loop is an effective way to ground this station equipment. Okay, yung ground loop naman is, ginagamit yun for electrical components, but yung naka-loop siya sa ilalim ng lupa. Pero dahil ito is station grounding, meaning yung equipment mo, so ang gagawin mo, yung ground mo dapat, no, is dapat yung ground mo is dapat at least pinaka maikli, no, papunta sa lupa. Okay, yung hotspot kasi maaaring magkaroon ng problem tayo diyan, no. Lalo na pag sa mga grounding. Na evident 'yan. Lalo na pag mahaba yung ating ground wire. Okay? 13, no? If a single band phone transmitter is 100% modulated, what will a speech processor do to a transmitter power? Okay? 100% modulated daw, no? So, single sideband. What? So, syempre, ang single sideband, no, nakadepende yun sa intensity ng ating boses. Yung output niya. So, kung hindi ka nagsasalita, wala siyang power output. Ganun din, pag 100% modulated, nagsasalita ka, so, ang tamang sagot na, it will increase the output PEP. Hindi katulad ng FM or AM na may carrier siya. Na kapag piniga mo yung PTT mo, nagtatransmit siya, may power siya. Pero sa single sideband, hindi all the time may power siya kasi kahit gayahin mo siya kung hindi ka naman nagsasalita, walang lalabas na power yun. So, sobrang minimal. Okay? Number 14. Why is it's best not to draw the DC power for a 100-watt transmitter from automobiles cigarette socket lighter? Okay? Socket. So, ang practice talaga, yung uh, ating mga amateur equipment, mga transmitter dapat natin is nakakonect siya sa uh, nakakonect siya doon diretso sa ating battery. Kasi kapag yung current natin is kulang, okay, or yun nga, kulang, lalo na kung 100 watts, no? So, medyo mataas na current ang kailangan natin yan para matransmit yung 100 watts. So, madalas yung mga cigarette lighter socket natin, mostly mga 5 watts lang, 5 amperes lang yung output nun, 12 amperes. So, kailangan nating idiretso sa baterya. So, yun. Ang sagot dyan is letter B. Ay, sorry . Sorry guys. Marami-rami itong questions natin. Saan na ba tayo? Yan. Okay. 15 na tayo. So, malapit na tayo mag-isang oras, no? What is the capture effect? Okay. Capture effect, ito yung phenomenon ng FM reception in which only the stronger signals or at or near the same frequency will be received. Okay. So, yung capture effect, di ba pag transmit tayo sa FM, pag sabay nag-transmit yung dalawang transmitter, maaring hindi natin makuha yung mahina. Siyempre, makukuha natin yung mas malapit sa atin at yung mas malapit sa atin. Or yung malapit na FM station na malakas. Okay. Maring malapit yan, but syempre yung power output niya is mahina. So, ma-overpower din yan nung malakas na station. Basta same frequency sila. Okay. Kasi unlike ng SB o single sideband, maaaring mo mapakinggan sila ng sabay. Pero kapag sa FM, ito tinatawag na capture effect. Kung sino malakas, siya lang mapapakinggan mo. So may mga intentional na gumagawa niyan, yung ginajam yung frequency kasi malakas yung station niya. So nangyari, hindi natin narinig yung legitimate. So bawal 'yon, no, sa ating radio laws. What is used to test the linearity and output power SSB transceiver? So para makita natin, okay, yung linearity and output. So syempre, ang isa sa mga ginagamit po is the two-tone sine wave test. Okay. Two-tone sine wave test. Tandaan niyo po 'yan, no? Linearity and output power. Okay. So pag single tone kasi hindi natin makita yung sine wave, makita rin pero hindi evident yung sagot na makikita natin doon. Meron din single tone square wave, so hindi square wave, no? Kasi SSB to eh. So three-tone sine wave test. Hindi pa ako nakarinig ng three-tone. Two-tone lang talaga. So two-tone sine wave test. Okay, 17. Logic probe has 3 LEDs, red, green, and amber. What does a flashing amber light indicates? So kapag yung logic probe daw natin, no, ito Rigol, no? Well, ginagamit to. Ang sinasabi, kapag red, green, amber daw, yung amber is nag-flashing. So, ang in-indicate niyan is pulse signal. Okay? Yung spectrum analyzer spectrum analyzer pala itong nasa image natin. Okay? Yung 18, what does a spectrum analyzer display? Okay? Yung spectrum analyzer display natin, ito yung makikita natin, yung a certain frequency at kung saan merong signal. Kumbaga yung x-axis niya, nakikita natin from 144 to 146. Tapos, makikita natin yung mga frequency kung saan may signal. No? Yung mga bagong radyo ngayon, may mga waterfall na tinatawag. No? Kung saan nagkakaroon ng transmission, makikita graphically. So, ang ginagawa natin doon is, makikita natin is frequency domain waveforms. Makikita natin kung ito ay FM, AM, digital, Morse code. Pag Morse code, makikita nyo putol-putol yon. Pag RTTY, makikita nyo rin na may pagka dalawang carrier siya or dalawang signal na magkatapat pag RTTY. Okay? So, number 19 na tayo. Why do we use dummy load? Okay. Maraming mga amateur operators na mayroong dummy load. No? Gumagamit sila ng dummy load. Okay? But yung paggamit naman ng dummy load is hindi naman siya permanent. No? Gagamitin mo lang siya kung ikaw is number one, using a transmitter without a load or antenna can shear damage it. No? Ibig sabihin, pag transmit kasi dapat may antenna ka. Ngayon, may mga instances na gusto nating malaman, no, kung nagtatransmit pa ba yung antenna natin. Yung radyo natin. So, lalagyan natin ng power meter or WR meter sa pagitan niyan. Then, pagitan ng radio and dummy load. So, magpa-pass through lang kasi doon sa SWR power meter yung ating signal eh. So maghahanap pa rin siya ng load. Ngayon, kapag hindi nga match yung antenna natin kasi walang mamamatch dahil walang antenna, babalik yung power doon sa ating radyo na mas makakapagpasira ng equipment natin. So yung dummy load, kung wala ka namang antenna, and definitely ayaw natin i-radiate naman yun dahil nagtitest ka lang naman. So gagamit ka ng dummy load. So, transmitting ito dummy load does not cause interference. So, basically, yun yung ating gagawin. Pag nagtitest lalo tayo, ayaw natin na maka-istorbo dun sa transmission o sa frequency. Okay? Na maaaring ginagamit ng ibang station. No? C, incorrect adjustment of a transmitter when connected to a mismatched antenna done to a known load. Okay? So kasi yung dummy load kasi is ano na yan, nakatono na yan, no? So pag tinignan natin yung SWR niyan, definitely nakaset yan ng 1:1, no? So kung gusto nating makita yung feed line natin ay nakatono rin, no? Yung impedance niya is same nung ating transmitter. So dapat makikita natin yun, no? Na kung okay ba siya o hindi. Na kasi yung dummy load yung maging reference natin. So walang problema sa dummy load but dun sa feed line is meron. Kung ang lumabas sa SWR meter ay hindi 1:1 or lampas ng 1.5. So ang sagot dyan is all of the above. Okay, number 20, what is the frequency drift? Okay. So ito yung sagot, unintended or an arbitrary offset of an oscillator from its nominal frequency. Then meron din tong changes in temperature, voltage, in component values. And C, measure either in the long term or short term period of time. So yan yung frequency drip natin. Okay, so unintended yan, no? Ito talaga yung meaning yan, letter A. Pero it is cause, no? Yung mga cause niya, no, part pa rin siya yung BNC natin. Kaya all of the above. Okay, number 21. Frequency tolerance. So initial deviation of a crystal oscillator as compared to the absolute at 25 degrees Celsius. Okay. So ibig sabihin, yung crystal, no, mga dito, yung frequency tolerance ay isang pag umangat yung ating temperature kasi, okay, pag umangat yung temperature natin, maaring mag-deviate, no, or umiba yung frequency ng crystal natin. So yung tolerance is allowable lang. Okay, depende yun sa crystal natin or sa oscillator frequency at 25 degrees Celsius. So kasama yan sa kanilang spec sheet pag bumili kayo ng oscillator or crystal. Okay, number 22 na tayo. Which of the following frequencies is in the 12-meter band? The 12-meter band is part of the work frequencies natin. No? So, paano natin makukuha kaya yung 12-meter band? So, syempre, kunin natin yung wavelength. Yung wavelength is yung 12 meter. But ano lang yan, no? Estimation lang yan. So, wavelength is equal to C over F. So, C is the speed of light. So, approximately, ang speed ng light daw is 300 million meters per second. Okay? 300 billion meters per second. 3 times 10 to the 8 ms, m over s. So, tapos yung C over F, yung F is the frequency. So, meron daw tayong frequency na nakalagay dito is 24,940,000 hertz or 24.94 megahertz. So, gagawin natin yung F yung wavelength yung 12 meters. So, i-divide naman natin yung 300 million ng 12. Okay? Kung anong malapit doon, yun yung sagot. So, 24. Nasa 24 megahertz yan. Subukan natin yung or kasi parehas silang million, no? Para mas madali tayong mag-compute. Yung speed of light is 300 million. Okay? Meters per second. Yung ating frequency is naka-megahertz. So, million din siya. Million of hertz. No? So, yung D natin is 24 million. So, ang gagawin natin, di-divide na lang natin, no? Yung convert, tatanggalin natin yung 6 na zeros, both sides. So, ang mangyari, 300 na lang divided by 24.94. Okay? So, pag mas madali siya, no? Kasi 300 lang eh. Instead of 3 million o 3 times 10 to the 8. Mas matagal. So, alam natin na kapag 300, ang frequency natin is 144. 300 divided by 144, approximately nasa 2 meters siya. Okay? So, mas madali makompute yung wavelength. Number 23, which of the following is true concerning access to frequencies? Okay, which of the following is true? Okay, number 1, net always have a priority. QSS in progress have always a priority. No one has priority access to frequencies. Common courtesy should be a guide. Contest operation must always yield to a non-contest use of frequency. So, ang sagot dyan is, ang sagot dyan ay letter C. Okay? So, no one has the priority access to frequencies. So, amateur, di ba? So, dapat tayo ay nagbibigayan. Okay? Wala tayo dapat sama ng loob. Kuwari, may net call minsan. Nets. And transmit na doon sa frequency na yun, no? At 8 p.m. Pwede mo naman pag-usapan na pwede bang stop muna kayo, magne-net lang yung kami sa frequency na to. So, at least wala tayong naapakan na tao doon. No? So, in 24, how can a ground loop be avoided? So, ground loop is, teka, letter D to, sorry. D, but, una, kaya nga siya nakaloop, no? Isa lang siya. Isa lang talaga yung kanyang pinaka-ground, no? So, A, connect all grounds, connection in series. So, hindi pwede yon. B, connect the AC neutral conductor to the ground wire. So, hindi natin gagawin yon, no? Yung neutral, wag kasi maaaring magkaroon ng shock, no? Maapektuhan yung ating mga radio. So, C, avoid using lock washers and star washers when making ground connections. Okay? Then, well, hindi naman. Wala namang kinalaman yan. Then, D, connect all ground contacts to a single point. So, gumagamit tayo ng bus bar. No? Ito. Yung mga copper bar siya. Okay. So, number 25 na. Which of the following can be the result of an improperly adjusted speech processor? Okay. Improperly adjusted speech processor. So, distorted speech, splatter, excessive background pickup. So, lahat yan is distorted speech, no? Iba yung boses mo. It's either mataas high pitch or low pitch siya. Splatter, maaring masyado siya malayo, so nagtatransmit na siya sa ibang frequency. Excessive background pickup, so hindi niya na-identify naman kung ano ba yung boses doon at yung background noise. So, sagot yun is letter D. All of these choices are correct. 26, which of the following components should be added to a capacitor to increase the capacitance? So, pag resistor, tatandaan natin doon sa elementary natin, pag resistor, pag mag-add tayo ng values, no, naka-series. Okay? Pero kapag capacitor, mag-add ka ng capacitance, so dapat siya ay naka-parallel. Kasi kapag naka-series ang capacitor, katumbas naman niya yung naka-parallel na resistor. Okay? So, mas lumiliit actually pag parallel resistors. Pag add, no, increase. So, recap tayo. Resistor in series, mag-add. Resistors in parallel, mababawasan. Hindi madidivide, no? Mababawasan. Kasi may iba na siyang daanan. Ganon din sa capacitance. Pag naka-series yung capacitance, hindi yun additional, no? Or series, ibig sabihin, magkasunod sila. Hindi siya madadagdag yung capacitance yung storage niya. Pag parallel, madadagdagan. Okay. Number 27. Walang 27. Okay, 28 daw. So, which frequency is within the 6-meter band? Okay, so madali lang malaman yan. So, subukan natin. 300 divided by 300 divided by 6. Okay, anong sagot? 300 divided by 6, nasa 50, no? So meron dalawang magkalapit, no? The 49 and the 52.525. So dapat sa ulo niyo rin yung ating band plan. Yung band plan natin for the 6-meter band is 50 to 54. So 50 to 54 yon, 50 MHz to 54 MHz. So nasa loob nun is yung 52.525 MHz. Yung 49 is hindi siya frequency na ginagamit for FM or per 6-meter amateur band. Okay. Uh, Number 29, under which of the following circumstances are amateur stations authorized to transmit signals related to broadcasting, program production, or news gathering, assuming that other means is available. Okay? Diba, nasabi nga nung elemento natin na bawal gamitin yung frequency or amateur, no, for broadcasting, production, news gathering, uh, hindi pwede yon kasi uh, for commercial purposes yon, no. Mm, so ang gagawin mo, no, i-allow ka lang, no, which is kahit saan naman, i-allow ka lang kung yung communication na yon is directly related to immediate safety of human life or protection of property. So, yung space communication from and to the space shuttle, hindi rin. No? So, hindi ka pwede mag-broadcast ng mga music doon or kung ano mang commercial broadcasting uh, kasi yun nga, amateur tayo. Only when non-commercial programming is gathered and supplied exclusively to kapisanan ng broadcaster ng Pilipinas. So, hindi rin pwede kasi meron tayong private networks na pwedeng gamitin for that. Letter D, only when using repeater link through the internet. So, hindi pwede. Okay? Kahit ilagay mo sa internet, malink mo yung repeater, amateur repeater sa internet, bawal ka pa rin mag-transmit ng broadcasting dyan. Okay? So, sorry, hindi pa. Napipindot ko yung baba. Medyo marami-rami pa. Yan. Number 31. If you are told your amateur station is causing television interference, what should you do? Okay? Anong gagawin mo daw? So, connect a high-pass filter to the transmitter output and low-pass filter to the antenna input of the television. Pero wrong yon, no? Actually, isipin natin to, no? High-pass filter to the transmitter output. Okay? To the transmitter output. So, yung amateur natin, yung high frequency lang. So, kuwari 144 megahertz. No? Tapos yung low pass filter naman natin, antenna input naman ng television. So, ang mangyayari naman, dahil ang i-allow lang natin is low pass frequencies, low frequencies. So, maring 2 to 6 lang yung channel 2 to channel 6 ay ma-receive ng ating television, which is yun nga, hindi mare-reject naman niya yung channel 7 to channel 13, channel 14 up to 51. Also, hindi rin naka-specify dito sa ating Q&A kung anong frequency. No? But actually, based doon sa medyo marami kaming members no na nag-retake for element 4. And based doon sa checking, ito yung sagot na ito yung tamang sagot. Okay? So yeah, let's tatanggapin natin but merong kulang dito sa statement na to. Kasi maaaring yung amateur station naman is nasa HF, di ba? So, ibang usapan yon. So, mas mababa yung HF. So, kailangan mo ng low pass filter down sa frequency ng transmitter, then high pass naman dun sa television. So, ano siya? Wrong, but we need to, yeah. Pero pag nakita nyo tong tanong na to and meron na kayo makitang band reject, di ba? Siyempre, i-reject dapat ng television. So, lalagyan mo ng band reject yung television mo, then band pass filter yung transmitter mo. Yun yung tama. So number 32, how many hertz are there in 1 kilohertz? So 1,000. Kilo is equal to 1,000. Approximately how long is the driven element of the Yagi UDA or Yagi antenna? So driven element, yung driven element yun yung nakakonect sa ating coaxial cable o feed line at sa ating radyo. So doon napupunta yung energy, no? O yung voltage. So definitely ang haba nitong ating Yagi antenna from doon sa isang side niya until ito. Ayan. Ito yung Yagi. So itong haba daw nito is at ito is 1/2 wavelength at least, no, approximately, not necessarily uh, 1/2 but approximately kasi titignan pa natin yung velocity factor nung ginamit na steel o metal, no? Kung copper ba yan, gold, silver, etc. So 1/2 wavelength yon. What could happen to your transceiver if you replace it blown 5 ampere AC uh, with a 30 amps fuse? Okay? So may yung minsan yung mga gamit natin 5 amps lang talaga yung nakalagay doon. Ngayon, palitan natin yung 30 amps fuse, no? Ngayon kung 30 amps na yun, if the transmitter uses more than 5 amps of current, a fire could occur. Okay? Uh, A, 30 amps fuse would be better protect your transmitter from using too much current. Parang ang ginawa mo kasi dito, bypass mo yung uh, fuse, no? Kasi yung 30 amps, hindi siya agad masisira kahit na hindi siya agad masisira dahil makapal yung conductor na dun sa loob ng fuse eh. So kuwari may nangyayari na dun sa radyo mo, mataas na yung current, tapos umuusok na. Dire-diretso pa rin papasok yung kuryente sa radyo mo, sa transceiver mo. So mangyayari, hindi totoo yung number A. Letter B, transceiver would run cooler, so hindi rin, no? Wala namang kinalaman yung fuse sa pagpalamig o pagpainit ng radyo. The transmitter would not be able to produce much RF output. Hindi, kasi yung rating na 5 amps, yun na yung rate niya talaga. So, kung ano yung sabi ng factor na yun. Then, 5 amps current, a fire could occur. Kasi, kapag gumamit ka ng mas mataas, imbis na i-cut niya, kaya yung ito-tolerate pa nung 30 amps fuse, no? Yung pagpas ng current. Kahit sinasabi ng radyo mo, tama na, huwag ka na putulin mo na yung circuit, no? I-break mo na yung source. If 30 amps siya, kaya niyang i-hold, withstand yung mga malaking current. So, hindi natin ma-protection yung ating uh, uh, radyo. Okay? So, 35, no? So, sorry, 35. So, how could you best keep unauthorized persons from using your amateur stations at home? So, gagamit ka ng, sabi dito is use a key-operated on-off switch in the main power line. So, yun. Para hindi nila magamit, no, yung radyo mo. So, gagamit ka ng key-operated on-off switch. May password, di ba? Ay yung use a carrier-operated relay, power line. So, pag transmitan mo lang yung radyo, mag-on na yan. Carrier operated lang eh. Carrier lang kailangan. Pag key operated, pwedeng gumamit ka ng DTMF, di ba? So, ma-on lang yung station mo kung may key ka. Okay. mag-transmit ka ng key o DTMF. C, put a danger high voltage in the stations, and definitely mas makikurious pa yung mga bisita mo or unauthorized persons. Then, put fuses in the main power line. So, walang magagawa yung fuse. 36, what is the most important accessories to have for the handheld radio in an emergency? So, syempre, handheld radio, tas emergency. So, ang handheld radio is dependent siya sa power source. Pag naubos yung battery, hindi natin magagamit. Emergency siya. So, kailangan mo ng charge battery. Several sets of charge battery. Extra antenna, hindi. No? Portable amplifier, ay yung extra antenna, pwede rin. Pero most important, tanong. No? Portable amplifier, hindi. Emergency nga. Possible pag emergency, walang kuryente. So, dadagdag pa yan sa load. So, hindi natin kailangan yan. Microphone headset for hands-free operation, kailangan din. Pero, pag emergency, kailangan talaga battery. Additional sets of battery. At naka-charge dapat. What may happen if SSB transmitter is operated with the microphone gain set too high? Okay. SSB transmitter to balikan natin yung pinag-usapan natin kanina. Na yung pag SSB o single sideband, no? Kapag mahina yung boses mo, mahina rin yung power output mo. Pag mataas yung boses mo, mataas din yung output power mo. Ngayon, pag mataas yung power output mo, malaking nasasakop mong frequency. Okay? Tumataas konti yung bandwidth mo. Okay? Kasi kailangan mo ma-transmit yung buong information eh. Okay? Di mo matatransmit yung yung malaking noise sa isang limited bandwidth lang. So pag tumaas yung ating boses, tataas yung ating output power, so maaaring mag-cause ng splatter interference siya to other station. So pag nakinig kayo sa HF, makikita kayo mga naka-high power, mga naka-linear amplifier yan. So naaapakan niya yung mga mahihina. At nag-interfere siya. And yung kahit lumipat ka na ng frequency na malapit lang, maririnig mo pa rin siya. Okay, number 38, most humans can hear sound in what frequency range? So tandaan nyo to, 20 to 20,000 Hertz. Naririnig natin. Okay. So, actually, yung 20,000 Hertz, yun yung medyo maximum na. Mga 21, 22, medyo mahina. Ano na siya? Maririnig pa natin. Yung ibang tao naririnig pa rin yun. Mga 21 to 22. Pero mostly 20 to 20,000 Hertz. Kaya yung MP3 file natin, kung mapapansin nyo, I think ang sampling rate nun is nasa 44 kilohertz, no? Yung sampling rate nun. Kasi ang si Nyquist, no? May Nyquist theorem tayo na yung pag-sample dapat pag-convert natin from analog to digital ng isang sound, no, na naririnig ng tao ay dapat times 2, no? Ay multiply natin ng dalawa. So mostly nasa 44 kilobits per second 'yon. Mga MP3 file natin. So 39. Which of the following is a common use of coaxial cable? Siyempre, connect natin yung ating radyo at antenna. So carrying RF signal. So yung ACD, hindi naman talaga yun sagot, no? Which instrument is used to measure electrical current? So, tandaan natin, kapag resistor ang kinukuha natin, ohmmeter. Pag voltage ang kinukuha natin, voltmeter. So, yung voltmeter is nakaparallel doon sa load na ating kukunan ng voltage. Okay. Pero para makuha natin yung current, gagamit tayo ng ammeter. Yung ammeter is dapat naka-series. Okay, kasi current yan eh. Kasi pag siniris mo yung voltmeter, mataas yung resistor niyan. So, ibablock niya yung pagdaloy ng kuryente. Okay? So, dapat nakaparallel lang siya. 41, what could be used in place of regular speaker to help you copy signal in a noisy area? So, speaker, meaning boses yung kinakopy natin. So, syempre, number one, boom microphone, hindi naman kailangan yon. Video display, hindi rin natin kailangan yun kasi boses naman yung kinakopy natin. So, kailangan natin ng set of headphones. Yung low pass filter, ginagamit yun pang filter ng frequency na high. No? High. So, pag low pass, low frequency yung pinapapasok natin. 42, where should be a mobile transceiver power negative connected be made up? So, syempre, sabi ko nga kanina, yung radyo dapat natin is nakakonect siya sa ating diretso sa battery ng sasakyan natin, hindi doon sa cigarette socket. No? So, dapat ang negative terminal niya is nakakonect siya sa battery, diretso, or engine block ground strap. So, makikita niyo yun sa ating sasakyan. So, yung metal part of the beaker, hindi pwede yun. No? Mahirap yun. Transceiver mounting bracket, hindi rin. Antenna mount, hindi. 43, which of the following can be used to enter the operating frequency above modern transceivers? So, gagamit tayo ng number 1, keypad or BFO knob, CTSS, CTCSS, or DTM encoder, automatic frequency control. All choices are correct. So, para maglipat tayo ng frequency, gagamit tayo ng BFO, yung pinipihit, or keypad. To type natin yung frequency. 44, which of the following measurements are commonly used using a multimeter? Multimeter, So, SWR RF, hindi. Gagamit tayo dyan ng SWR and wattmeter. No? Signal strength and noise. So, gagamit tayo ng field strength meter dyan. Or frequency analyzer. C, impedance and resistance, hindi rin. No? Well, resistance, gagamit tayo. But impedance, medyo hindi kasi yung impedance is sa AC yan for AC. Okay. So, D, voltage and resistance. So, pwede. So, voltage, kahit AC or DC yan, may selector yung ating mga multimeter. So, letter D. 45, what signal are used to conduct a two-tone test? Ito yung sa SSB natin, no? Generator. So, pag two-tone test, gagamit tayo ng two non-harmonically related audio signal. Okay? So, non-harmonically, ibig sabihin, kung ang tone natin is mga 1 kHz yung isa, pwedeng gamit tayo ng 975 or 960. Okay? So, hindi sila harmonically related. Ibig sabihin ng harmonically related, kunwari ang frequency ng isang tone is 1,000 Hertz. Yung second harmonics niya is 2,000. So, times 1 multiplied by times 2. Pag third harmonics, yung multiply mo na ng 3. So, 1,000 times 3. So, 3,000 Hertz na yun. Bakit kailangan hindi related? Kasi, gusto nating makita, no, yung mga distortion, no, pag nagtutone test tayo, especially sa SSB. Ngayon kasi, kapag harmonically related, maaari pag transmit ka ng doon sa 1,000 Hz, doon sa 1,000 Hz, no? Sorry, pag nakita natin na yung ating frequency, yung unang tone is nag-transmit sa 1,000 Hz, maaaring mag-transmit rin yon sa pang second harmonic niya, which is 2,000. So makikita mo yun dun sa graph. No? So maaaring mag-iba yung, hindi natin makikita yung distortion. Kung may distortion ba talaga. Diba? Kasi yun talaga yung nangyayari kapag harmonics, may harmonics eh. Kahit try nyo kung meron kayong Baofeng, no? Dalawang Baofeng na radyo, kung may gagamit ka, Cygnus. Try nyo mag-transmit, kare 144 o 145 megahertz, okay? 145 megahertz. Di ba may UHF din naman tayo doon sa ating ating radyo. So, multiply mo ng 3 yung ating 145 megahertz. So, 145 times 3 nasa 435 megahertz, which is kayang i-tune dun, kayang i-tune din ng ating portable yon kung UHF, BHF. Yeah. Pag nag-transmit ka doon sa Cygnus or Baopeng na radyo, maririnig mo rin doon sa 435 megahertz yung sound na yun. Okay. So, yun. Hindi dapat non-harmonics dapat yung ilalagay nating two-tone generator frequency dito sa ating pag-test ng SSB. 46, which of the following can be the result of an incorrect adjusted speech processor? So, same kanina pa. Kanina, natanong na to. So, distorted speech, pattern, excessive background pickup. All of these choices are correct. Okay, what brief statement is openly used in place of CQ to indicate that you're listening on a repeater? Okay, so CQ pag naghahanap ka ng kausap mo or general call. So syempre, sasabihin mo syempre yung call sign mo at monitoring. Hindi mo sabihin na break, ganon, or kung ano man, monitoring lang. Kailangan lagi sa amateur natin, in-indicate natin lagi yung call sign natin. Okay? So, actually, nakasulat yun sa 0308-2012 Memorandum Circular na dapat laging may call sign. Okay, which of the following is common practice during net operations to get immediate attention of the net control station when reporting an emergency? So, pwede yung sabihin daw na priority or emergency followed by call sign. Okay. Priority for F1PH. Or priority, this is for F1PH. Emergency, this is for F1PH. Wag lang yung mga parang break, tatlong break, gano'n, no? So, hindi proper yon. But syempre, wala namang problema doon. Kasi emergency naman. So kung ano yung nakasanayan natin. Pero dito sa exam, priority or emergency followed by your call sign lagi. So ang lahat ng transmission dapat natin is lalagyan natin ng call sign para hindi na magpalit-palit yung magtatanong yung net control station, anong call sign mo? 'Di ba tatagal yung ano natin? Tatagal yung transmission kasi may pangalawang tanong pa. So sabihin mo na agad yung call sign mo pag transmit ka. What is the formula of converting frequency to wavelength in meters? So, ito nga. Sabi ko nga, pares naman silang million. No? Lalo pag megahertz yung pinag-uusapan natin. Pag VHF, UHF. So, 300 no, divide by frequency in megahertz. So, kung gusto natin malaman yung exact wavelength ng frequency natin, kuwari 145, 300 divided by 145. So, nasa approximately 2.01 yun. Which is yun yung ating general calling frequency sa 2 meter for radio telephony. So 50, which of the following describe the common meaning of the term repeater offset? Okay, so sa mga may idea na sa repeater, yung repeater offset is in difference between the repeater transmit and receive frequencies. Okay, so iba yung frequency ng transmit, iba yung frequency ng receive. So mostly, naka-standby lagi tayo dun sa receive frequencies. Ngayon, kuwari sa radio engineering circle, no? But hindi pa active. So 144.92 megahertz yung receive, no? So lahat tayo naka-tune in doon. Pag pag pinigyan natin yung PTT at nakaset yung offset natin ng negative 600 kHz, so ang magta-transmit siya sa 144.32 megahertz. Okay? So doon siya magta-transmit. Ngayon, kabaliktaran naman sa receiver, sa repeater, na yung repeater is lagi naka-receive siya sa 144.32. Tapos i-retransmit niya ngayon sa 144.92 megahertz para matama ng ating radyo, yung or nung kausap mo. Okay? Which of the following types of solder is best for audio and electronic use? So, rosin core solder daw. Okay? Which of these items would be useful for hidden transmitter hunt? So, syempre, kailangan mo ng directional antenna. Ito yung tinatawag nating fox hunting, no? Kasi check natin kung saan yung location nung uh, transmitter na hindi natin ma-find. So, pag tinapat mo yung directional antenna doon sa direction towards doon sa transmitter, mataas yung signal level natin. Pero pag palayo, no, hindi nakaturo doon, so mahina. Okay? So, isa rin yung activity ng amateur radio, yung fox hunt or yan, transmitter hunt. What does antenna tuner do? So, kung hindi match yung ating antenna and feed line sa ating radio, so ang gagawin niya, may ma-match niya. So, yun ang ginagawa niya. Matches the antenna system impedance to the transceiver output impedance. Ngayon naman, okay lang ba, edi gumamit lang pala ng antenna tuner. Okay? Well, una, yung antenna tuner, no, gagawin nun, para 100 watts yung ating radyo, tapos hindi nakatono yung antenna mo. So, gagamit yung antenna tuner. So, ipapakita ng readings ng radyo mo na perfect SWR. Pero, hindi mo alam, hindi naman lahat ng power is natatanggap nung antenna or napaproject mo. Kasi, yung antenna tuner, yun ang ginagawa, hinahabol niya, no? So para habulin niya yun, yung ibang power is napupunta sa kanya, parang kinakain niya na lang. Yun yung term, no? But we can discuss yan sa mga mas malalalim po na usapan sa antenna tuner. Okay, so which of the following is a common use for the dual BFO feature on an transceiver? So dalawa daw yung natin, no? BFO. May mga ganung radyo, no? Dalawa yung paglipat ng frequency. So, to permit ease of monitoring, transmit, and receive frequencies when they are not the same. So, minsan kasi nagtatransmit tayo sa isang frequency, then iba yung receive. Okay? So, ginagamit yan mostly sa RTTY, o kaya sa contest, sa HF. So may hinahabol tayong station na nagtatransmit. So habang may kausap tayo dito sa isang frequency, may monitor na agad natin yung isa pa. Okay, so yan. Permit ease of monitoring transmit and receive frequencies when they are the same. 55. What is an advantage of a digital voltmeter as compared to an analog voltmeter? So, better precision for most uses. So, digital, syempre, ano yun? Numerical readout yun. Yung analog na natin, yung analog. So, para siyang may metro, no? May needle siya na nakaturo doon sa values. Pero pag tinignan natin, lalo na kung maliit yung ating analog voltmeter, hindi natin masabi kung anong eksaktong voltahe nun. Mag-approximation na lang tayo nun. Lalo na kung walang guhit na nakatutok dun sa pinagtapatan ng needle. Okay. Pero sa digital, syempre, depende yun sa number of decimal places. So, eksakto yung makukuha natin na volts. What could be a symptom of ground loop somewhere in your station? So, pag may problema tayo sa ground loop, so you receive reports of humming, no? Pag umuugong yung maririnig natin. Okay? Ibig sabihin, hindi maayos yung grounding system natin at magkakaproblema tayo sa kakaproblema tayo. Okay? So, yung ground loop, dapat maayos yung pagka-ground natin. Kasi, minsan magkaiba kasi yung potential niyan. So, ibig sabihin, imbes na magpunta siya dun sa lupa, earth ground, dahil mababa yung voltage ng isa, connected sila, pupunta dun sa isang equipment. What does an S-meter measure? Okay? Yung S-meter, ito yung nasa radyo natin. Pag may nagtatransmit, makikita natin kung gaano karami yung guhit niyan. So, syempre pag makita natin konti lang yung guhit ng S-meter natin, ibig sabihin mahina yung signal niya. So, dun din natin binabase minsan, pag lalo sa mga base, no? 5.9, di ba? Yung 9 yun yung S-meter, kung ilang guhit yun. So, pag puno yun, 9 yun. Pero pag lumampas na siya doon sa 9, so may nakasulat din doon sa ibang radyo na ilang dB pa yung increase niya. Okay. 5.9 plus 10 dB, 20 dB, 30 dB. Okay. So, sobrang lakas talaga yun. 58, the following phone emissions uses the narrowest frequency bandwidth. So, single sideband. Okay, phone emission to, ibig sabihin boses ang tinatransmit natin. Single sideband. Pag AM kasi double sideband yon, no? Frequency modulation basically hindi. Makapal yung frequency na kailangan natin. Phase modulation same din siya ng FM. Okay, what is the approximate length of a one-half wave dipole antenna cut for 3.55 MHz? So, para gumawa ng dipole antenna, so ito yung mostly na ginagamit nating formula. 468 over frequency in megahertz. Okay? So, pag kinonvert natin yung 468, no? 468 to meters, no? Is 468 is nasa 142, okay, meters. So ano ba yung 142? Almost kalahati yun ng ating frequency. Ay yung ating speed of light na tinanggalan natin yung million. So ganun siya pag gumawa ka ng dipole. But ito kasi naka-feet. Tandaan nyo, feet yung sagot nito. Total number of feet. Pero kung meters, prepared natin na meters, so nasa 142.6 over frequency in megahertz. So makikita natin meters yung ating makuha. But for this one, dahil feet, so 131 feet. Yun. Okay, so 560 logic probe na tayo. Yung logic probe daw ay ginagamit saan siya? Okay? Logic probe, no? So siya ay ginagamit for analyzing and troubleshooting digital logic states. So, ayan. Ay. Ayan. Number 61, oscilloscope. Ano na pa, no? 15 minutes lang. So, bilisan natin. Oscilloscope displays signals in what format? So, amplitude level and time duration. Okay? Oscilloscope yan. Okay, amplitude nung signal and sa time. Okay. 62, what type of instrument can be used to accurately measure an RF field? So, ano daw ang ginagamit? RF field, so calibrated field strength meter with a calibrated antenna. Makikita natin doon sa buong 360 degrees na direction gaano kalaki yung tinatransmit o gaano kataas yung transmission nung isang antenna sa bawat degrees, no? So 0 to 360 versus doon sa ibang degrees, okay? Kunwari kapag dipole, maaring mataas, no? Mataas yung towards doon yung ating signal, so sa 0 degree, so makikita ng field strength meter mataas yung signal doon, pero sa ibang location, sa ibang degrees, mababa siya. Kaya nagagawa natin yung antenna pattern, okay, because of the field strength meter. What is the purpose of transmitter power supply interlock? Okay, so to ensure that dangerous voltage are removed if the cabinet is open. So ginagamit yan, no, para yun nga, yung ma-ensure daw yung voltage, dangerous voltage ay wala na. Kasi minsan, yung, di ba may mga capacitor yun, so nag-store pa rin ng energy yun. So delikado yun, no? What is normally meant by operating a transceiver in split mode? So iba yung, kung split mode, iba yung transmit and receive frequencies niya. Mostly gumagamit to sa HF, sa contest, no? Or pwede rin crossband repeaters. Okay. 65. Which of the connector type is commonly used for an audio signals in amateur radio station? So, audio hindi to transmitter. No? So, PL25 na ginagamit siya sa transmission. Kapartner SO238. BNC sa transmission din yan. Type N o N-type sa transmission din yan. Yung RCA po ay yun yung ating 3.5mm jack. So, yun yung ginagamit sa audio. 66, which antenna would be the best used to minimizing interference? So, para ma-less yung interference, hindi natin marinig yung mga ibang energy na galing sa ibang station. So, gagamit ka ng unidirectional antenna. Kasi kapag omnidirectional antenna ang ginamit natin, lalo na pag HF, marinig natin yung iba pang signal sa ibang lugar na hindi na naman natin kailangan. So, noisy siya. 68, 67, which of the following can be determined by field strength meter. The region, so field strength meter, so ito nga, yung radiation pattern ng antenna. Okay. So, 68 na tayo. What are the typical characteristic impedance of coaxial cables? Use antenna feed line at amateur station. So, ginagamit natin mostly 50 ohms. And 75 ohms. So, S75 ginagamit din natin yan minsan pang doon pang stub natin, pang matching natin. Yung 50 ohms talaga yun ginagamit sa mga radyo. Yung 75 din ginagamit siya sa mga television. Okay. 69. What does the frequency stability over temperature mean? So, frequency stability over temperature. So, dapat kahit tumaas yung frequency niya ay hindi siya stable siya. So, frequency tolerance with respect to the range of temperature measured in parts per million. Okay? So, yung mga B, ppm value is better is the stability. So, hindi yun. Specification is intended for RF amplifiers. Gain with respect to the temperature. So, hindi. So, frequency tolerance. Kasi pagdidebate kasi minsan pag mainit. So, what does the term selectivity mean? So, selectivity means it's the ability of a receiver to distinguish between nearby signal and the desired one. So, pag poor yung selectivity ng radyo mo, maaaring kahit nakatune ka na sa frequency na yon, maaaring papasok pa yung ibang frequency or ibang station na nasa ibang frequency. So, hindi niya nasa-select mas mabuti. Okay? 71. Receiver sensitivity means, so, ability to reproduce weak signals. So kanina selectivity. Kaya niya mag-select, sensitivity, ability reproduce very weak signal. Ibig sabihin kahit maliit na signal yan, maririnig natin yan. Kaya yung iba minsan bingi, tawag natin bingi kasi hindi natin nakukuha nasagap yung signal kahit malapit lang siya or nagtatransmit siya, di ba? Number 72, what safety equipment item should always add to home built equipment that is powered by 230 volts AC line? So letter A, fuse or circuit breaker. Serious with the equipment. So pag nagkaroon ng surge or problem yung equipment, hindi siya puputok kundi magkukos ng fire. So mabibreak na agad natin yung circuit para hindi na mag-continuous yung flow ng current doon sa may problemang appliances or equipment. What is the most important safety precaution to take when putting up the antenna tower? So, ang sagot dyan is letter B. Insulate the base of the tower to avoid lightning strikes. Okay? So, most important okay? Most important. So 74, kasi yung lightning strike, naghahanap yan towards the earth ground, di ba? So, kailangan nating insulate yon, base of the tower. 74, to avoid excessively high human exposure to our fields, how should the amateur antenna generally be mounted? So, as far as away from accessible areas as possible. Kasi actually, sa amateur, allowed nga tayo, no? Lalo na sa A-shop, na 2 kilowatt, di ba? O 1 kilowatt sa yung mga class A stations, no? 2 kilowatt, 1 kilowatt. So mataas 'yon, no? So kailangan tayo, malayo yung mga antena natin. So frequency 2 meter band, alam na natin 'yan. In ITU3 region. Okay, 144 to 146 megahertz. Okay. Ito yung sagot ang alam ko 148. But sa Pilipinas kasi until 146 lang tayo. 76 grid meter solid state deep meter measures what parameter. So ang grid meter or solid state deep meter, ang kinukuha niyan ay kung siya ay resonant frequency of an LC tank circuit or LC composed of an inductor and capacitor. Okay? So grid meter and solid state deep meter. Bakit kasama itong mga ganito? Kasi nasa syllabus yan sa memorandum circular, ministry circular. So, kailangan nating tandaan nyo yan. Grid meter and solid state deep meter. Ito na, frequency counter. Saan daw siya ginagamit? So, syempre, frequency counter, kinakount niya yung frequency ng oscillator. B, kinakount niya yung audio oscillator. Syempre, frequency rin yun. Then, C, measure the frequency and PLL circuit. So, reference frequency and PLL circuit. So, measure niya lahat yun. Kaya basta nagka-count siya ng frequency. So, all of the above. Then 78, what is intermodulation interference? Okay, so interference caused by odd harmonics to transmitter fundamental frequency? No. Interference caused by shift in the current frequency of an AM transmitter? No then. Interference caused by signal arriving from different paths? Hindi rin. So, ang tamang sagot dyan is B. Interference caused by combining several signal producing new unwanted frequencies. So, madalas yan nangyayari sa mga passive component. Pwede rin yan sa mga repeater kasi nagko-combine tayo, no? Isa lang yung ating gumagamit tayo ng duplexer, no? Para ma-combine yung certain frequencies sa o diplexer. Kumbaga natin minsan diplexer para ma-combine natin yung UHF and VHF. So, maaaring mag-create yun ng interference. Lalo na kung sila ay mas magkalapit. Okay? Gusto natin makatipid ng antena pero possible magkaroon ng problema. What is receiver desensitization? So, ang sagot dyan is overloading of a receiver front end by strong off-channel signal, causing a reduction in sensitivity. So, yan. Okay, what is cross-modulation? Transfer of amplitude modulation of a strong unwanted carrier onto the wanted carrier caused by nonlinearity. Okay, so yan yung sagot dyan, no? Receiver desensitization, uh, strong off-channel signal causing reduction of sensitivity. So, sobrang lakas na, nabibingin na yung ating radyo. That's the desensitized. Cross-modulation, yun, nagkakaroon tayo ng transfer, no, ng unwanted carrier sa wanted carrier. 81, so what type of electrical circuit is created when a fuse blows? So, syempre, pag closed circuit, siya ay, doon sa elementary natin, siya ay naka-loop, no? Nagpo-flow yung current from positive to negative. Pero pag na-blow na yung fuse natin, so basically, parang na siya naka-switch off, so, or naka-switch off, yung naka-off yung switch, so, ang tawag doon is open circuit. What is the term describe the processing of combining an information signal with a radio signal? So information, yun yung ating boses, yung carrier naman yung generate ng ating oscillator. So ang tawag dun ay modulation. What is the meaning of your signal is full quieting? Okay? Narinig natin to minsan. So pag sabing full quieting, definitely wala, so in full quiet, naririnig mo siya, then yung other station hindi na marinig kasi sobrang lakas niya. Okay? What might cause erratic changes in SWR readings? So SWR readings, so loose connections in antenna or a feed line. Erratic changes, sabihin nagagalaw-galaw siya. Kaya dapat hinihigpitan natin yung pagkabit ng ating mga connectors sa radyo or sa antenna. Kasi pag hinahangin siya, nagkakaroon pagkawala ng contacts ng connectors. No? How is an ammeter usually connected to a circuit? Ammeter, so sabi ko kanina, pag voltmeter naka-parallel, kapag ammeter naka-series. 86, what in general terms is standing wave ratio? So, nagkaroon ng standing wave ratio na mataas kung hindi match yung ating transmission line and load. Okay. 87, what should you do if you receive a report that your station are causing splatter or interference on nearby frequencies? So, check your transmitter for off-frequency operation or spurious emission. So, maaaring yung radyo mo, nag-cause na siya, nagtatransmit na siya sa ibang frequency kahit ang nakalagay sa dial mo is doon sa working frequency mo or operating frequency mo. So, tignan natin. No? Baka na-off-freq na siya. Okay, so hindi mo pwedeng increase yung transmit power. Baka naman lalong magsasama yung interference niyan. Modem transmission, so hindi rin. FM, gagawin mong SSB, same frequency, hindi rin. Pangit din yun. Report that interference to the equipment manufacturer. So, well, gagawin mo yan pag after mong ma-check yung transmitter mo sa off-freq operation. Kasi mamaya katagalan na, tapos na yung warranty, so hindi mo na mahabol si manufacturer niya. So where 88, where must a filter be installed to reduce harmonic emission? So between the transmitter and antenna. So lalagay ka ng filter doon. Kung gusto mo matanggal harmonic, so gagamit ka ng low pass filter or band pass filter. What is the electrical component used to connect or disconnect electrical circuit? So switch ang kailangan natin. Which of the following may be useful for correcting radio frequency interference problems? So, chokes, yun yung parang mga kulay itim. Kung makikita yung mga charger ng ating mga laptops yun, yung parang barrel na yun, ferrite core chokes yun, no? Pagtanggal ng mga noise, no? Low pass and high pass filter, pwede rin. Band reject and band pass filter, pwede rin. So, all choices are correct. Popular contesting activity, contacting many stations as possible during specified period of time. So, contesting yon. So, net operation, hindi. Okay. Ang net kasi talaga is you check yung hindi mo kailangan makarami dyan. Ang gusto mo makita dyan is para i-check yung propagation ng isang station doon sa net control station. Para pag emergency, alam mo na, ay, nakukopya naman ako ni ganitong station, yung net control station na to. So, makakapag-relay ako ng information. Ito talaga yung net call, no? Nets na activity. Which of the following is an advantage of switch mode power supply as compared to linear power supply? So, yung mga linear power supply, yung mabibigat yun, yung mga Zebra, ganyan. So, yung switch mode, ito yung parang mga nasa computer natin, yung ginagamit sa mga CCTV. So, nangyari doon, lumiit yung transformer, therefore, lumiit yung weight niya. Ngayon, para lumiit yung transformer, naglagay tayo ng high frequency power oscillator sa mga switch mode power supply. So, mas bumaba yung kanyang bigat. Okay? What would be the SWR if your feed line vertical antenna has 25 ohm feed point impedance with a 50 ohm coaxial cable? So, ang sagot dyan ay, dahil antenna yun, mauna yung antenna. So, siya ay 2:1. What are the precautions should you take before beginning repairs on an antenna? So, alam naman natin yun. So, huwag ka magre-repair kung naka-on yung ating transmitter. What is the best reason to use a headset without attached microphone or Vox control when using a mobile station? So, hands-free, safer operation. So, safe dahil naka-mobile ka nga. So, dapat hindi mo hawak yung radyo mo. Okay? Then, naka-headset ka pa. Okay? Kasi kung hindi ka naka-headset, yung ibang noise doon sa sasakyan mo, magpapasok, maaaring mag-on, depende sa sensitivity ng ating box na sinet. Okay. So, 98, what is a device used for radiating electromagnetic signal into it from a radio transmitter into space, or for capturing a small portion of the RF energy from space and then feeding it into a receiver for subsequent processing? So, alam na natin yan, radiating antenna, radiating electromagnetic signal. So, ang gagawin natin is, kailangan natin ng antenna. So, device. Yan yung device na ginagamit natin. Mag-radiate and capture ng RF energy. And that's it. Sorry. 12:01 ang oras natin. Kung may question kayo, pakisabi lang. And maraming salamat sa mga umattend. No? Sa mga nagtatanong dun sa, or may mga questions sa mga e-certificates, no? I think nakikita ko yung comments nyo. We can send naman appeal dun sa ating email, projectsupport@rec.org.ph. Yun lang po. And you can send naman na appeal, no? Hindi naman, wala naman tayo yung dapat ipagkagalit, no? Kasi basically, yung Radio Engineering Circle this is a pre-webinar, no? So, yun lang. Pre-webinar to. Hindi to, wala kami siningil dito. Yun lang. So, you can appeal doon sa ating email. And sumasagot naman, no? Sumasagot kami sa lahat ng inyong concerns. Okay?
Yes,
Maraming salamat. Thank you.
yeah, thank you so much, our old man or Kuya Pat, or Engineer Patrick Jiorgen Hulipas for Fact That One, Papa Hotel for the very informative presentation. Now, let's proceed to the Q&A portion. If you have any questions to our speaker, please get them ready because we are going to open the Q&A. So, okay, now the floor is now open for your question. Type in the comment section below your question. So, yeah. The first question from DM Mon Sarah from Facebook. Can you please flash slide with number 93 and 94, please? So, yeah. And to everyone, if there's something you need
Sorry,
clarification,
yung numbering. No, wala lang. Wala. 91, 92 wala numbering. By the way, meron pa pala tayo. Nakita ko until 106 pala to. Tama, 106. So 99. Continuous ko lang baka kasi tanungin, no? Ito kasi kinompile natin to. Yung relay nakasulat ka mismo yun sa ano natin sa syllabus, no? So relay, electromechanical devices 'yan na pag yung relay is in-energize para mag-switch automatically siya. Then 100 instrument for standing wave ratio, SWR meter syempre 'yon. If your mobile transmitter does not power up, what might you first check first? 12 volts fuses lang 'yon, no? Check check natin kung na-blown na yung fuse o hindi pa. Number 102, 2-meter communication take place. Siyempre, yun ay VHF. Kasi ang VHF is 30 MHz to 300 MHz. 103 circuit blocks are embedded. Yan, hello?
Yes,
Yan.
narinig ko.
Yung 103 is about below and above, so bandpass filter lang yan. Then 104 yan. 104 naman ay computer ang sagot diyan, no? So para makakapag-emit ka ng data emissions, no? So computer ang kailangan mo. Then what is coaxial cable? Alam na natin 'yan. So center wire siya, may center conductor siya, then may insulator siya, covered by metal shield, sleeve or shield. So nandun yung ating information sa gitna. What does a TR switch mean? So transmit, receive, change over switch. So ginagamit to para habang nagtatransmit yung nagtatransmit tayo, hindi na re-receive. Kasi may mga radio na separate pa yung receive and transmit. So ibig na bumalik yung transmitter dun sa equipment natin, ang mangyayari is automatically mag-switch off siya. Okay? So yung mga bagong radyo, hindi kailangan yung mga may embedded din TR switch na yan. Okay? So yun lang. Thank you.
Yan. Thank you again, Engineer Patrick, Jiorgen, Hulipas. So if you have questions, please type in the comment section and we will flash on screen and ask the speaker to answer your questions. And if you have clarification, this is the right time to ask. So I believe because later we will have a mock exam. So we have a question from Facebook from Dean Ares Rodriguez Basilan. Ano po yung 5 sa 5.9 signal strength or readability po ba? Sir Pat? Engineer Patrick? So let's wait for may technical difficulties lang ang ating speaker. So, type nyo lang sa comment box if you have questions. And pagkabalik po ng ating resource speaker ay sasagutin niya ito.
Okay, yung 5 and 9, 'di ba? Sabi natin lagi natin narinig yun, 5 and 9. So yung 5 syempre yun yung ating readability. So 5 yung pinakamataas, syempre. Ano siya, subjective siya, no? Well, yun ang masasabi ko, subjective siya kasi quality yung 5 eh. Quality 5, 'di ba? Sugar 9 or signal 9 yon. Pag 1 yung una, quality, ibig sabihin, ikaw magsasabi, maganda ba yung boses niya or walang precise ba yon? Maganda. Kasi minsan, mataas na kukuha natin doon sa signal strength, yung 9, pero yung boses natin, parang may noisy, may humming, di ba? So, pangit yung quality nun. So, 5 is the readability, tapos yung 9 is the signal strength. So 9 to 1 yun. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So yun yung nakikita natin doon sa ating radyo.
So next question from Rolly and Cobb from Facebook. Sir, tanong ko po, bakit daw kung RG58 cable ang gagamitin pag gamit ka ng high power, mag-affect daw yan sa cable wire mo?
Okay, so pag maliit kasi yung conductor natin, no? Pag maliit yung conductor natin, mas mataas yung losses, okay? Especially sa RF, no? So, yung 58 talaga, pag masyadong mahaba yan, magagamit nyo lang yan for HF. Pero kung VHF, dapat mas makakapal ng wire na yung ginagamit natin, mga RG8, 213, RG213, and mga 1 half, no? Kaya kung makikita nyo, doon sa mga ginagamit naman sa cellular cell site, di ba? Makakapal yung kable doon kasi matataas na yung frequencies nun eh. And makikita nyo rin yan sa datasheet ng mga gumagawa ng kable. So makikita nyo na habang tumataas yung frequency, tumataas yung loss. Ngayon, kung tumataas yung loss, ang gagawin mo, kinakapalan nila yung kable. So, para mangyari yon, compare mo ngayon yung RG58 sa RG8. So, at 100 megahertz, makikita mo kung ilan yung dB loss niya per 100 meters. So, masyadong mataas yung loss pag RG58, pag mataas na yung frequency. Ayun. So, RG8 pag high power din, ganoon din. Kasi gusto natin ma-transmit lahat yung signal palabas eh, 'di ba? So, kung gagamit tayo ng manipis, RG58, maaaring magka-cause pa nga yun ng, maaaring yung power handling ng RG58, depende sa pagkakagawa, maaaring masira o masunog. So, syempre, pag yung makapal na copper or cable, mas mataas yung ma makukuha, mas mataas yung power handling capability niya.
So next question from Girly Ocampo from Facebook. Is there an instrument to measure impedance? If yes, what is the importance in finding the impedance?
Hey, Lolo. Sorry. Impedance meet well, impedance is gagamit ka ng impedance meter, syempre. Okay, or impedance analyzer. Mostly yung impedance analyzer is or meter is medyo mas mahal siya, no, compared sa BOM o yung digital multimeter. And ginagamit na kasi yun sa complex application, no. So may hindi lang yung ohms yun, no, 50 ohms, meron pa yung vector na ipapakita dun sa screen. Kaya hindi mo talaga pwedeng gamitin basta-basta yung ating multimeter, yung normal na multimeter to check the impedance. So gagamit yung impedance analyzer na minsan present na siya in one package dun sa ibang uh, measuring tools natin like frequency analyzer, oscilloscope. No? May mga ganun ng devices ngayon na pang measure. All in one device na.
So next question from Tadeo Garcia from Facebook. Ano po yung gagawin if your neighbors are complaining that your radio is interfering their TV, AM, and FM reception?
Okay, anong gagawin if neighbors complaining to your radio interfering? Well, maaring ireklamo ka nila sa NTC, no? Kaya nga ang gagawin natin, kailangan nating gumamit ng mga filter, no? Para hindi tayo nakaka-apekto. Okay? Kasi kung kare ang gagamitin natin diyan is basically band pass filter para makalabas yung certain frequency lang, hindi magkalabas ng spurious emissions. So band pass filter ang gagawin natin. Okay?
Yan. So next question po. So are there any more questions? So from YouTube, from John Lawrence Valenzuela, Sir, advisable po ba from your experience or expertise na gumamit ng dipole antenna kung portable handheld 5 watts ang radyo na gagamitin o paglalagyan? Thanks po.
Ah, well, kung dipole naman wala namang problema yon. Kasi ang problema lang, yung kausap mo ba gaano kalayo, no? So, syempre kapag ang dipole, ang ah, ang karaniwang gain ng dipole is about uh, mga 2.15 dBi lang, no? dBi as tropics ko, medyo mahina 'yon. Wala pa siyang kalahating in-increase. So, kung malapit lang naman, no, within the city or municipality, so okay na yung dipole. Walang problema 'yon. Pero syempre, lalo na pag VHF, height is might, syempre. Pangalawa, power is might, syempre. Then pangatlo, kung dipole, antenna is might, syempre. Well, yung antenna na dipole to ano nga lang, 2.15 dBi lang yan. So, medyo hindi siya ideal for long distance communication.
So I hope that answer your question. So from Facebook, Prince Samkuan Pineda, in terms
May isa pa.
transmitting high frequency, ano pong relevance ng carrier frequency?
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Uh, in terms of high transmitting high frequency, ano pong relevance ng carrier frequency? Uh, teka, no, nagkaroon ka ng problema sa control eh. In terms of high frequency, ano pong relevance? Okay, HF, no? Kasi sa HF, well, sa amateur, no? Sa amateur mismo, hindi tayo gumagamit ng double sideband full carrier dyan. Okay? I think hindi pwede. Kaya, gagamit tayo ng uh, gumagamit tayo ng SSB, which is hindi siya, well, hindi ginagamit, yun nga, hindi, dahil suppressed carrier, SSB, single sideband suppressed carrier, uh, wala kang carrier doon. So, hindi mo kailangan, well, yung carrier frequency pala, sorry, carrier frequency, tutukoy mo, kung ano yung set mong carrier frequency, yun yung, kuwari, LSB, no? Lower side, kuwari 7 megahertz, no? Pag 7 megahertz, normally, kapag amateur, LSB siya. Pag tinapat mo siya sa 7.095, yun yung carrier frequency, but wala talaga doon yung signal mo. Nasa below siya nung 7.095. Okay? Ganoon din pag SSB naman na nasa upper sideband. Makikita mo yun sa frequency analyzer natin na well, nandun yung carrier mo pero wala naman talaga yung mostly ng transmission doon. Nandun sa konting deviate ka kung upper or lower, no? Yun, I think sana sagot ko yung tanong mo.
So next po.
Okay. May tanong pa ata dito.
Sa
Huling tanong, teka. Sorry na wala yata yung ano ko, yung controls. Teka. Ayun. Yan, okay na ba ako?
Opo, kuya. Yes.
Siguro ano na, last question na tayo kasi matagal na tayo.
So from YouTube, John Lawrence Valenzuela. Sir,
Sir,
gumagamit ako ng RH7 770 antenna, adjustable 1 net meter, ang haba sa Biofeng UV5RE portable ko. Ilang minutes lang ng pag-uusap, medyo umiinit na sa base ng antenna po. Any idea po reason ng pag-init?
Okay, gumagamit ka ng RRH 770, which is diamond antenna yan, no? Um, well, may mga reasons yan, no? Una, baka mataas yung SWR, no? Ibig sabihin, maraming reflected power. Kasi actually, ang RRH 770, pinuputulan yan. Hindi yan, hindi yan buy and gamit na. Kung anong frequency ng pinag-transmitan nyo, dapat puputulin nyo yun, no? Ang alam ko RRH 770. Alam ko, pwede siyang putulan. Or kung telescopic yan, I think telescopic, hindi pala napuputulan yan, no? Kung telescopic yan, hindi ibig sabihin na inano mo, in-stretch out mo yung buong antenna, gumagana, working siya dun sa frequency na yun. Siyempre, nakadepende nga sa haba. So, you can hanapin mo, adjust mo yung antenna mo. So, telescopic pala yan, yung RH770. So, hanapin mo yung tama kung saan siya mababa yung SWR. Kaya, advisable, no? Especially sa mga amateur enthusiasts na may SWR meter sa bahay. Para nakikita natin kung anong tamang sukat ng antenna, and alam natin na baka yung antenna natin may problema na. Ang tagal na sa bubungan, hindi natin na-check. Yung pala, may mataas sa SWR. So, ayun, possible yon. Kasi, especially, pag mataas ang SWR, may problem tayo. Kaka-problem tayo talaga.
So that ends our Q&A portion. So, on behalf of Radio Engineering Circle Incorporated, we would like to thank our dearest president for joining us this morning, or rather afternoon, and allotting time for us to impart his knowledge about amateur radio practice. We sincerely appreciate you, Engineer Patrick, Jiorgen, Hulipas for Factor One, Papa Hotel. Again, to our viewers, don't leave yet. Wait for the link to the MAC exam. Also, we invite everyone to be a member of Radio Engineering Circle. Just follow the instructions on your screen. Okay? So you may log on to register and join us in Radio Engineering Circle. So yeah, you may apply on rec.org.ph/join Radio Engineering Circle now. So also, I've mentioned earlier that this is a three-part series. So if you miss our webinars for for elements 2 and 3, watch out for the next episode to be posted on our Facebook page. Just like and follow our page, facebook.com/direct.org.ph. Also, we would like to invite you to join our circle, Radio Engineering Circle Incorporated. Just log on to rec.org.ph/join to apply. We are a proud member of Philippine Amateur Radio Association and Federation of Rapid Emergency Telecommunications Team of the Philippines. So to give us the closing remarks, we will call on again the president of Radio Engineering Circle Incorporated, our old man or engineer Patrick Georgian Hulipas for Faction 1 Papa Hotel.
Hello? Yan. Okay na ba? Sorry. Nakamute pala ako. So, thank you very much, Radio Engineering Circle. Ay, hindi. Thank you very much sa lahat ng umattend dito sa ating pre-amateur webinar, no, na kinonduct ng ating Radio Engineering Circle team. So, sa element 2, natutunan natin ang radio rules and regulation, element 3, fundamentals of electricity and electronics, and dito sa element for the amateur radio practice. I hope may mga natutunan kayo, no? Then For doon sa mga hindi nakatake ng element 2 or hindi kulang sila ng element 3 or may mga hindi sila napasa, don't worry, no? Kasi kami sa Radio Engineering Circle is we are committed na magdaos ulit ng mga webinar for the element 2, element 3, and element 4. So just visit our Facebook page sa mga announcement, no? I-like and i-follow nyo ang aming Facebook page para hindi kayo mahuli sa balita. Also, sa mga nagtatanong bakit hindi daw nakasama yung kanilang mga pangalan sa ating uh, doon sa mga nakapasa, i-re-check po namin yan. No? Basically, we have only 2 days, no, to check doon sa mga posts namin. But gusto nating sabihin na mayroon tayong committee na binuo for the rechecking of all quizzes. So pasensya na lang din sa mga hindi pa nakasama, but definitely i-re-check po namin yan. No? Well, kami is binubuo lang ng mga volunteers, so pag please bear with us, no? At yun ay tulong-tulong kami dito sa REC. Wala namang maraming salamat nga pala sa mga team na dumalo or mga sa control, sa invitation, sa aming chairman, Engineer Gerhard Tan, Vice Chairman, Engineer Ornan Vicente, and sa mga naging speakers natin, si Jady Lorzano, si Lawrence Atanasio ng PARA, si Ravenal De Jesus ng ICEP Bulacan Chapter. Ayun, maraming salamat po and good luck po sa mock exam. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Patrick Georgian Hulipas for Foxtrot 1 Papa Hotel for his closing remarks. Again, thank you everyone for attending today's webinar. Kindly fill out the feedback form and mock exam by logging on to the link to be flashed on your screen. This will be prerequisite for your e-certificate, so please don't leave yet the session without completing the exam. So we are looking forward to seeing you again next week. This is your host, Winfrey B. Padlan for Hotel One Whiskey Bravo Papa. Happy Sunday and good luck on your MAC exam. Stay safe, everyone. 73.